Loosen the screw that clamps the carburetor to the intake of the engine. Then swing it left to right while pulling until it comes off. Next, disconnect the fuel line. Then I remove the two top screws that connect the throttle cable to the carburetor slide. I carefully remove the slide assembly so nothing gets lost. I carefully pry the metal air filter off of the carburetor. You have to work your way around because if you apply too much pressure to pry out the air filter, you can bend it. Next, I disassemble the rest of the carburetor, removing the two screws that hold the bowl. This carburetor is really gunked up. First, the main fuel jet. Next, I use a feeler gauge tool to push out the pin that holds the float. Then I carefully remove the float with the float needle. I don't want to lose any of these parts. Now to clean all the ports on the carburetor. Using carburetor cleaner, I spray into the port. Need to also clean the fuel pass-through ports and filter. This carb had some dried up residue build up in this area. I had to scrape it out with my flathead screwdriver. Then spray carb cleaner to clear out the ports. On a SHA carburetor, there is a small port that if blocked up will cause idle issues. You want to make sure this is cleared out. I use some fine wire and carburetor cleaner to clear out this port. I'm confident it's cleared when I see the carburetor cleaner spray shoot out the different ports. I use the cleaner on the metal air filter too. This should help break up and clear any debris or build up. Next, I worked on the main jet. This and the bowl were the most dirty. They were really gunked up good. I used a brass wire brush to clean and polish the main jet. With the feeler gauge tool, I clear out the main jet. Then use the carburetor cleaner to push out any more buildup in the jet. For the bowl, I just take my time and clean the build up with a cleaner, wire brush, and flathead screwdriver. After I clear out the ports and clean the bowl, I start on the rest of the components inside the bowl. Then it's time to assemble the carburetor. Starting with the fuel cut-off needle. Attach that back to the float. Next, slide the float and needle into place and secure it to the float pin. Screw the main jet back into the body of the carburetor. Then the bowl can be put back onto the carburetor. Next, the fuel inlet filter and the fuel inlet spigot. Now the slide assembly can be put back onto the carburetor, making sure the choke release is in the right place. I test the choke lever before mounting the carburetor. Insert the air filter and then mount the carburetor to the intake. That's it for part 2 of getting this Safari Turbo Moped running.